Hi, I'm Gene Lim, the CEO of FarmByte. So I think one of the questions I've been asked, in this space is what are the opportunities for FarmByte when it comes to artificial intelligence and machine learning? So I would like to say that artificial intelligence and machine learning has already been around for quite some time, especially in the deep tech space. The real question is who uses them and how do we use them to bring it to the market? However, one of the most important steps is really to try to connect the value chain of agriculture together. Very often you see farmers working themselves, wholesalers working by themselves, processing sites working by themselves, retailers working by themselves. And very often when they work by themselves, they don't talk to each other from a data perspective. So FarmByte can actually stand to be a very strong catalyst to actually drive the artificial intelligence and machine learning across the value chain. Has anyone actually reconnected consumption data versus farming data versus weather versus trade activities? For the time in the agriculture world, it's very simple for people like you and I to walk into the supermarket and say, oh, there's a amount of cucumbers I can buy. If there's no more cucumbers left, then it's out of stock. But what if one day data can actually serve the purpose to ensure that these stocks will never ever be gone, number one, and number two, there's not a lot of wastages where things are unsold in the supermarket. Past technology has never been there to connect data points like these together, and it's now up to us at FarmByte to actually drive this through to not only build data points but to make decision making better for farmers, for wholesalers, for retail outlets, and for customers like you and I as well. What are the challenges that agro-food industry is facing in utilizing technology? I think the challenge is really cost per unit affordability as well as scalability. What I mean by that in more simple terms is that how do you apply a singular technology or multiple technologies across more farms, across more warehouses, processing sites to make things cheaper. At this point in time, if you talk to farmers at your own capacity, you realize one farmer could have 2 acres of land, another farmer could have 100 acres of land. If a technology person comes in and say, hey, I've got this new technology that can help improve your farm, productivity, they always ask how much, because money matters to them. But this new technology comes in and says, oh, maybe it's going to cost you 50,000 ringgit per harvest. The farmers will always say, no, I'm sorry, I cannot afford it, or it does not make monetary sense to me. So one of the greatest challenges is really how do you make it scalable and costly in terms of a cheaper cost across farms, right? Another challenge is really when you talk to farmers, they build different crops every different cycle. You always have cucumbers on the left, maybe brinjal on the right. These kind of mixed crops also challenges the technology envelope in that sense, right? Where if I have an AI technology that was introduced to me 2 weeks ago, and the AI technology says I'm able to actually identify what kind of produce is ripening at a certain time based on the color, based on the size, based on the weather. How do I then apply it to a brinjal or a cucumber? One is green, one is purple, one is smooth, one is rough, right, in that sense. So there needs to be a centralized effort that stays and works with all technology partners and say, look, we can do short-term goals and we can try and apply technology across maybe certain smaller scale of produce first, right? And then we eventually actually increase it to a bigger scale of produce. Number one, give them a focus area. Number two, push prices down for multiple farms at one go rather than each individual farmer who cannot afford it. This also applies across simpler things like technology for delivery. In Malaysia, we are always in a very hot climate country, and hence, transporting agricultural products require a lot of temperature control. Anyone out there try to tackle the fact that we can optimize our routes, we can optimize our journey, we can optimize the timing we collect produce from farms and deliver it to our customers? The answer is no, and that's what FarmByte is trying to do. We're trying to combine everything together under multiple big umbrellas to reduce costs and increase scalability. What's my vision for FarmByte in the next 3 to 5 years, especially given the rapid advent of new technologies and agri-tech solutions? Vision is quite clear to me, not only to me but to my team members as well in FarmByte. To be the first point of reference and go-to place for all farmers, for all agri-businesses, regulators that cohesively wants to improve the nation's food security agenda, right? Increase the livelihood of farmers, and at the same time continuous modernizing of the agricultural world in Malaysia. I talked a lot about artificial intelligence, I talked a lot about machine learning, but it is so important that we continuously to be the forefront of all these things and more. I believe that AI and ML, machine learning, will pivot again in the next 5 years. And FarmByte needs to be there first above everyone to ensure that we validate these new technologies. We also test these new technologies and apply them across the whole agriculture industry in Malaysia to ensure that certain things have been built for fit for purpose and certain things have been implemented fit for purpose for the agriculture sector in a sense. We will always strive to be early adopters and drivers of this technology. That's what FarmByte, my vision for FarmByte is 3 5 years.